steep grade up ahead, slow me down and making no time. I gotta keep on rolling. Those are windshield wipers slapping out the tempo, baby, broken rhythm with a song on the radio.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Rideshare Gig Worker Rodeo Roundtable that we do every Thursday night. Tonight is episode, we don't always say this, but 124. What does that make next week? 125 episodes. I was telling Kim today. And if you guys have noticed, like there's weeks I haven't been here. There's weeks, a few only, that Kim hasn't been here. So many people have passed through this. It's been awesome. But we've never skipped a week, even if it was a holiday. Like I made a special of like some clips or whatever. But the 4th of July, we're going to take off. But next week is the 125th episode. And we're going to do something really special. So if you've ever watched Roundtable, be here. We're going to make it fun. We're going to make it interactive for everybody here in the live chat. And talking game show of like mixing all the game shows ever. I want a piece of every game show ever existed. I don't know how. Don't question me yet, but let me introduce this awesome panel tonight. We got Kim's Side Money Plans. We got, here's how I put it. Let's not play DoorDash. We got Joe. Let's not play DoorDash because he's Joe on the go now. We're going to get to that.
Yep.
We got Tony, the Driven Dad. And we got Mr. Tom Kelly, Truckers Podcast. I don't want to give away yet the Joe thing. If you guys already know, you know, but hang tight because this is going to be interesting. Especially as Joe comes from my home state, and he already gave me like a little tip when we get to it that I was really kind of surprised about. But we'll get to all that. But how's everybody doing? How you guys doing? How's the chat doing?
Good.
Yeah. Tom, when I do have three quick stories before we get to Joe. First, I want to just say hi to the chat real quick. But Tom, after I say the first story, I want your reaction first because it's pretty funny. What's up, Traveler? What's up, Thomas? Hey, Bubba Sue. Hey, Kim. Hey, Ryan.
I'll probably have to give you the update in a week because my updates are always cut off. So,
hey, Anthony. Hey, Tom Kelly. Hey, Becky. Hey, Derek. Hey, Ellen, and everybody else joining. Whether you're working and listening or whether you're just lurking, it's cool. We like you. We are on Twitter tonight. We're on Facebook, and we're on a couple of YouTube channels. So thank you for joining in. Three quick stories, and I got an F word that goes with every one. So of these three stories, one is fake, one is fact, and one is effed up. Okay, so I won't tell you guys which is which. If after you guys want to guess, I'll let you know. Story one is look in the sky. It's not the Jobby Nooner, it's Jobby. Tom, I don't know if you saw this, but today, both Axios, well, a bunch of things, but Axios, a bunch of others. And here, let me bring this up because it's pretty sad. So, Tom, you and I are great with the moving targets. We are used to these. Did you know that next year we will see these landing on every rooftop in 50 cities?
yeah, FAA approved it all.
Yeah, they approved it today, or they approved it this week. What I even find funnier is like they don't even, so they're still making the code. That's what the FAA gave them the license for, but they've been working with Boeing. They have 100 to be tested. First of all, Tom and I used to talk about the trucker side of electric things, how there's no infrastructure. So you can't go to electric. You just can't, period. I mean, maybe 100 years from now. But fully electric, like you need the whole infrastructure of the country needs to be redone for truckers. But what I found really funny about this is this. They've already designed the app.
Oh, interesting.
And the app is going to be downloadable so that you can get used to it and how it works.
Oh, good.
Because here's what they're saying. On-call flying taxis just took a step closer to reality. Jobby, a manufacturer of electric vertical takeoff and landing aircrafts, VTOLs, just announced that the Federal Aviation Administration has given it the green light to develop software that could lead to a consumer-facing app. But as the story continues, this would just tell me they're working on the software. But the suite of programs, which the company has dubbed Elevate OS, will include pilot tools, operations, and schedule management software, a mobile first rider app, an intelligent matching engine. The company said in its announcement, the matching engine is similar to those used by the ride-hailing apps today and pairs passengers with available aircraft and landing infrastructures. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. There's a reason why. To deliver journeys, and that these are as efficient as possible. In its announcement Thursday, Joby said that its Elevate OS will give it an edge as it kicks off, hopefully as soon as next year. And that's talking about working. Like Kim can call a Joby, it lands on her lawn and takes her wherever she wants.
Wasn't Joby the one who was doing the DoorDash Wendy's orders, that the person was sitting in Wendy's in DC
with the
or
drone?
Baltimore? Yeah. Isn't that the same company?
There's a couple. I don't think it's like, if you're thinking of the Australian one, I don't think it's Joby.
No, the one recently that they were going out of.
Maybe.
It was Wendy's and they were going out of, was it Washington, D.C.,
Baltimore? Oh, yeah. I mean, I know what you're talking about. I don't know if it was Joby. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Joby. I mean, they say they're going to fly humans. They say they're going to fly humans. Why couldn't they fly a Wendy's burger?
I feel like I need to do research now because I think it's them.
But I don't know what you guys feel. I said I'd go to Tom first on that because honestly, Tom and I used to talk about this stuff all the time and just how fake these dates are. And like, how many times are people going to fall for it? I mean, I saw all these articles coming out. We're not close. And I can guarantee there won't even be one. When they did it the last time, we were sure that the same thing for 2020 or whatever it was, 2019. Right. There was going to be these VTOLs that could land on any building in Los Angeles, but yet they didn't have a helipad even on but like 4% of the buildings. But it's a different pad they need than a helipad too. So it's like, what are you talking about? And all of a sudden, Tom, if you remember, it became 1 or 2 Uber helicopters out of New York.
Yeah, I think it was 2.
But but it included an Uber ride because clearly they can't go anywhere. So they'd have like a field that'd be like 20 minutes away, and Uber would come get you, take you to the field. You'd wait for the chopper. It came down, and that's all their VTOL was a chopper.
I just looked it up. It's not. The one that was doing DoorDash was called Wing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they also got FAA approval to start working on this stuff. So I don't know what the FAA is really doing. If they're just trying to like pretend like it's real, make people think our technology is really moving that quick, but we're not.
Well, Rideshare Lisa rightly points out that you mentioned Boeing was a part of all of this, and that by itself makes me laugh.
Yeah, like they can't even keep their planes together. Like, let's fly these batteries that are going to catch people's houses on fire if they crash.
Right.
Well, I don't know.
On that.
Did you guys? I mean, did any of you see the guy from Boeing who like had the most mysterious death?
Yes.
Who was a whistleblower, knew all of what had been going on.
Yeah.
When that kind of stuff happens these days, it's not like, I don't know, I guess it's just coincidence. Nobody does that. It's not coincidence anymore. They're being offed if they're a whistleblower on a level of that, he was silenced. So I can't say what Boeing's doing because I don't know, but obviously a lot of things are going wrong if the doors are blowing off. Because even in the 60s and 70s, the doors didn't blow off. I don't know. Cheaper material? I don't know.
For the record, I used to manage the team that managed Boeing.com and all Boeing websites, and internal and external.
Right. So you would know. So aren't they pretty much like compartmentalized? Like so that nobody knows how, like if you're working on this one thing, you wouldn't know any of the other departments?
Well, yes and no. I mean,
there are some things that have to cross over, but I don't think people understand just how huge that company really is and how many fingers they have their things in. And I mean, and the pieces of all the other companies that they own. You would be like, why is Boeing investing in chocolate bars? Well, because, and they have this whole reason why that they're invested in so many different things.
I mean, I would wonder
So
how
you have
many of
something
the
similar to
airplane,
that.
like passenger airplanes, even probably a lot of commercials, but passenger airplanes that are currently air usable, they're in working condition. How many are Boeings in this world?
Passenger jets?
Yeah.
Actually, Airbus, just for the very first time, passed up Boeing in market share in the last month or two.
Really? But here in the States, it would be mostly Boeing, is my guess.
Oh, yeah, by far. But just
I mean, if not almost all.
Across the world, though, Airbus just passed up Boeing. And then the Russian company that I can't think of and the Brazilian company I can't think of are numbers 3 and 4.
Yeah, I was looking at something here, so I missed where did Lisa say? Is this a curry? Lisa, did you get a curry to Michigan? Because I saw that you're in Syracuse, and I saw that Traveler in Syracuse missed one that was going to Ann Arbor. Is that the one you got? Good job. I don't think you've ever had a multi-state, so if that's what you're talking about, otherwise I have no idea what you're talking about.
Half the time I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Okay, so the next one, we'll just move through this real quickly too. This just happened. The Pennsylvania House, and it's already out. It's already going to be voted on. It is a bill that really badly too basically pulls the absolute California move. That 100% it's going to be under the most strictest ABC test. And in fact, we have, where's the wording I was looking for here? So the new bill will define an independent contractor based on whether an employer exerts control over workers' tasks, or if the business is independently established or controlled by the individual, kind of ABC test. But then they're also talking here about, if you look, this is pretty intense. This actually might go beyond California, which is the strictest law in the country. But right now they have 27 investigators to look into labor law investigations in the Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry. This bill will also give them the authority to acquire records of employers as part of the investigation and issue administrative stop work orders against employers that have been found to deliberately employ misclassified workers. So some places like Philadelphia already have their own, blah, blah. And so basically, this is what puts the fear of God into everybody in California under the AB5 law of, I don't know if I can work with people. And it makes other states think I'm not going to work with California people because they're toxic. But this one even sounds worse because they're saying they're going to come shut down your business. Like in California, it's a fine if you get caught. So there are some people who roll the dice and go under the radar. But this one's saying like, well, we will go after everybody kind of thing. And they'll shut you down.
I'd be moving.
Yeah. So again, it was fake, fact, and effed up. And the last one that we got here, and this one's just a quick one. I just want all you guys to know, because when we got hit with a supply chain issue in 2020 and toilet paper was gone, nobody saw it coming. So this article's out. Obviously, it's for the ladies. This is a real thing. I looked into it. But it really is. I was looking into it, and the stats are pretty high. They're pretty close to like some of the things that were missing in the supply chain during the pandemic. Like this is coming if it's not already to you. So ladies, stock up. I don't know if that's the wrong way to word it, but it is what it is. But yes, we're excited to have Joe here tonight, because I wasn't able to be here last week, but I heard Tom talking about David Risher. I heard Brandon was on here. Brandon's been stepping away from gig apps and doing a lot of, and in fact, when I was listening to the replay, I didn't even know how easy it was to just get, I don't know how much it helps you, but to get started doing it on Amazon, doing product reviews. I know for everybody that doesn't know, I can't remember if it was super clear, but Brandon's talked to me many times and he works through a different company too. It's not just Amazon. He's paid by another company. I won't give any of the information out, but he does fairly well doing this stuff. But I in the live, I caught that everybody can do it pretty much. Like almost as easy as starting an Amazon store. Was I wrong?
It sounded pretty easy. I honestly, I had all intentions of starting to research it, and then my week got ahead of me and I didn't have the chance to. But it sounded pretty simple what he was doing. I mean, he was very open on exactly what steps he did to do it. So, yeah, sounded pretty awesome.
So
yeah, I just got accepted into the Amazon influencer program yesterday. So
Cool.
I did not get accepted to Amazon Flex yesterday.
not Flex.
Kim, did you?
Influencer.
No,
Kim and I have been on the Flex wait list for
I've been an
15
Amazon
years.
influencer for years. I just have never used it. I mean, I
I've
use
been
it. But
deactivated from Flex because their crappy geofence check-in situation on new location.
Hmm. Not something
And
you can blame the
Thomas,
Prius
you
on.
trying to cause something to happen over there? I already have enough children.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened? I'm not even watching chat. But so Joe, all of you guys know Joe on the other end. Used to be Let's Play DoorDash. Now he's like, let's do not ever play Door. I don't know if it's ever, but let's not play DoorDash. No way. It's not even fun anymore. I think he texted me the other day. It's not even fun anymore. I'm not gonna do something.
That's the whole reason I was doing it. You know what I mean? Like I've got a great full-time job, and the only reason I was doing it was the money was good, but I found it fun. Like for whatever reason, you know. And they just made it not fun with all this having to keep your acceptance rate up, which was okay. I found ways to do that. But then the oversaturation finally hit my market, and there was just 5-10 minutes between orders, and then the orders you are seeing are $2 to $3 for 7 to 9 miles, and I quit the game. I found something better to do with my time, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
And
I
so
don't know what I'm doing.
And so like Brandon last week, you know, maybe once in a while we'll try and do this because I do things outside of normal gig apps too. This is pretty outside of it. This isn't a calling board or anything. Joe has started doing, if you guys ever caught the show Storage Wars, Joe has, in fact, is that a Gordie Howe jersey behind you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So Joe is doing Storage Wars and he is going, I asked him how it's being done. He said they can't do I was like, where do you go to find the storage war or the lockers coming up for sale? And it was like the first thing that caught my attention was he said, listen, I said, you just go to Craigslist or what? Yeah. But I was like, well, how do you go to these? Are they like, is it cool when you're there in person? He said they don't do them in person because people were shooting each other.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's what the guy at Public Storage told me. He said there was just too much violence going on at the lot.
It seems like a really stupid thing. Like we can't do these anymore because people are getting shot. I mean, it's not an armored car moving bank money. Like
I believe there's places that still do live auctions on site, but here at that particular Public Storage, he said no, they don't do it there anymore.
Right. And Detroit isn't even one of the top kill cities anymore.
No, we're falling, we're slacking.
Yeah, we're not even in the top.
Look at that like you're proud, Steve.
Well, I'm proud. I'm proud to be out of that top 5. Tom's probably in the top 5 now. No?
Yeah.
Violence in Houston, not bad.
St. Louis is in there, though.
Yeah. St. Louis. I don't even know is DC in it anymore. They always used to be in it too.
But yeah, no,
they got like barricades up everywhere in DC.
So did I miss it if Lisa said that it was? Oh wait, here it is. So travel. I thought I was deactivated because I hadn't had a curry this year. I don't see any orders. You must have. So wait, was that a curry? I just needed to know before we moved on.
I'm pretty sure she said yes.
I think she said yes.
She said yes.
Okay, yeah, because it was the same one. So Traveler had been talking. He said to me he saw it going to Ann Arbor. So Lisa, you should already be on your way though, because those are hot shots. Like you should be on the road to Ann Arbor. You can't be in Syracuse. Unless it was a scheduled hot shot, then it wouldn't be a hot shot. But yeah, good luck on that. I know that you haven't done one of those yet. I'm stoked. Lisa should live stream that. I don't think Lisa's live streamed anything in a while. That's something to live stream right there. Live stream driving to Ann Arbor. So next week, like I said, we're gonna step outside of the comfort zone. I do have one last thing that I wanted to, and then I want. Well, Joe, first tell us a little bit about the Storage Wars thing. I have a quick video, and then I want to get into. I want to do a little brain teaser thing with you guys.
Gotcha.
But tell us a little bit about how it does work online, what you're doing. I mean, it seems just as dangerous to go collect it if you do an auction online. You still got to go somewhere where people are probably, if these people are really killing each other, they're going to shoot you.
Well, it's not quite that horrible. But yeah, no, I totally have no idea what I'm doing. But I've just always watched the Storage Wars and I've wanted to do it. But I see those people and I'm like, they don't have jobs. There's no way you can have a job and do this. And I decided, well, I'm going to do it with a job and try to show people how I'm doing it, even though I don't know what I'm doing. It's kind of like we're learning together as we go.
So how are you, I'm guessing that your Gordie Howe thing is probably something you got at a memorabilia shop or something and it's legit. But if you saw one of those, how do you know it's real? Like if it says game worn or it's signed or, I mean, certificate of authenticity is a joke in most cases. It's a piece of paper.
Yeah, if I had anything signed, I don't know how I'd. Like I said, it's all new to me. But like the Gordie Howe jersey, like the tags are still on it. Everything's still there. I've looked up tags online to see what's authentic, what's not, and it looks good to go. I had a Tom Brady jersey that I sold on eBay. It was the first item I've ever sold on eBay. I have no idea what I'm doing there, but I got it done.
So can we put your? I mean, I'll let you do it, but can you put your eBay link into the chat?
Yeah, if I knew.
I mean, do you want to? It's up to you. If you don't want, if you're like, no, these people are crazy, I don't want them around there.
Yeah, well, I got to learn what I'm doing first, because like I said, it's all
okay. Coming soon from Joe.
You can jump reality shows and go to Pawn Stars and then just have them see whether they can authenticate it.
Right, but he would have to buy it first.
I know. I'm just saying, since he's on the whole reality show. Okay, that wasn't funny. I thought it was funny.
I'm only laughing because I know Joe's in Michigan, and oddly, you guys, I talked about this on a podcast this week that I did some independent contractor work for a penny machine company that does like all these resorts and zoos and everything. And Pawn Stars was one of our clients. So I actually was to Vegas to their store a couple times, like replacing rollers on machines.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Now, one thing I'll say about the whole storage thing, like when you watch the Storage Wars videos and they're opening the door and going through the stuff, and then they show the price tags on there, it's not instant money. You know what I mean? Like, I got a really good deal on the unit I got, and I got a lot of really nice stuff that I can sell. But I bought my first unit 3 weeks ago now, and I'm only up about $300 right now. So it's taken time to learn. Though. Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely up, and I've got probably about $2,500 worth of stuff here to sell. But I also found 3 60-inch flat screen TVs in the unit, and my kids and wife took those. So that's what I call usable profit. So those, would have cost me at least over $500 a piece to buy them new in the store, and I paid $60 for the unit. Wow. I didn't even know the jerseys were in there. I didn't know I got Cuisinart stuff. There's just a lot of really nice stuff in there, and for $60,
do you have storage at your house that you can actually store it once you get it?
I got my garage, and my wife's rule is you're buying one at a time. You're getting rid of it. You're not going to hoard. So I have to get rid of the rest of what I got in this unit before I can buy another one. And I'm trying to document how I'm doing that as I'm learning it and I'm getting other Storage Wars YouTubers chiming in and giving me tips and hints and stuff. So it's definitely a fun journey.
Have you walked into a pawn shop with anything that you thought, oh, this is cool, man? Like maybe they'll buy it just to see?
That's kind of like what I'm getting is like that's last resort. You know, if I can't sell it at a flea market or online or on Marketplace, I'll take it to the pawn shop because I'm going to get pennies for it there where I can actually make a decent profit selling it myself. But I did, one of the 3 TVs was broken, and I called 9 different TV repair shops, and I found one that bought it from me for $30. So for the parts. So
Okay.
it was junk, but it wasn't, you know, I still turned it into cash, and that paid for half the unit just on one broken TV.
See, I can tell you guys, I watched the first series. I watched Storage Wars when it came out, but I was like looking before we had Joe on there. I didn't even know there was like a Storage Wars Canada. There was like, I didn't even know that, but I knew there was one in like Texas that they started doing. I didn't even watch that, but then there was one in Canada. They've been doing it. I don't even know if they do it anymore, but it was for a long time. Those things were going on.
If you
and it's all online now. So like it's everywhere. You can just go to the storagetreasures.com website and pull up within 50 miles of your area, and it'll show you all the units that are up for auction.
So
interesting.
if in the first season anyway, remember how the doors would open and you couldn't step in? I remember that. You couldn't cross the line. You could you could lean in, and I remember one of the dudes one time tried flying a drone in there and lost it in there, so the drone was then bid on because it was in there. But like my thing is like I would like get really nice chests like with nothing in them.
Right.
Put them in there, and then on top of it, like have a really nice rack and like, you know, put like an Elway jersey and sign it fake, and so like all like 10 of them where you're kind of having to look and is that real? Because you can't tell. So if I sign 10 fake jerseys of the best NFL players that are going to sell for the most money, and then I had all these like nice crates just stacked, somebody's going to pay out the huge. I guess my point is I would feel like the storage facility could take an empty unit and really screw you over.
That's what they call a manager special.
Dressing it.
If you see a note that says manager special, what it is, it's like 3 different units that people bought in auction. They took the good stuff but never cleaned it out. So they take all of that and put it in one unit and call it a manager special, but they go through it. So they're, you know, chances are you're not going to get anything valuable.
Were you so nervous the first time you did it, like not realizing exactly what you were getting? I feel like I would be so nervous.
I've only done it once. It was 3 weeks ago. It was my first one.
I know, but were you nervous when you were bidding on it? I would be so nervous.
Yeah, I was at work and it came up because it's like in the show, you know what I mean? But they just show you pictures of the unit door open, and you got to zoom in on the pictures and try to see what you can see in there. And then I'm at work, and so I put a bid of $10 on it, and it was going, and there was only 3 hours left, and then another guy bid me up, and so I just put my max bid at $60, and it went up to that and stopped, and I won it for $60. So I was pretty excited because I could only see one TV in there, but when I got there, like the dude opened the door for me, and I looked in there. He's like, "There's 3 TVs in there." I was like, "Oh snap!" Unfortunately, I was a little bit excited in that first video, so I must have dropped the F-bomb about 50 times. I got a lot of hate for that, but the video also got like 6,000 views within 3 days of being posted. So it was kind of crazy how it took off.
So even though you are getting started and you want to get started first, can we at least share? I mean, it's already shared because it's his name on the screen, but can we share Joe's new link to his new YouTube? Because I think the handle's at Joe on the Go, just YouTube at Joe on the Go.
Yeah.
But
so how long did it, like, do you have, like, once you win the bid, like how long
they give you 48 hours to clean out the unit, and a lot of the places require that you put down $100 cleaning fee now, like deposit. So you don't go in there and just take the valuable stuff, leave the junk. You know, you're going to lose $100 doing that. So you usually got to put $100 deposit down, but you get that back after you've cleaned the unit out. So,
yeah, I don't think so on the digital auctions, how's that one work?
They're just all up there, and it's like the show. But they take pictures, you know, and then they have a time.
They have they have an auctioneer, and he's saying numbers, and it's like a
no, it's a timer counting down,
bidding.
and they usually run the auction for 7 days on a timer, on a countdown timer.
Okay.
But if it gets to the last 3 minutes of the auction and someone bids, it adds another 3 minutes of time. So if there's a bidding war, it'll keep adding time to it in those last 3 minutes.
Okay, so it is bidding though. It's not like a set price that you have 7 days. If you want it for $2,000.
No, it's not a buy it now type of deal. It's an actual auction, and they'll say the starting bid is like $10, and then it goes up in $10 increments.
Mm-hmm.
And as people bid, it just keeps going up.
It seems like just in the TVs alone, it was worth bidding the $60 just to get 3 TVs out of it.
Right. Well, I only saw the one TV in there, but I got, like I said, I got a few $1,000s worth of inventory out of there. But now it's, what do I do with it other than keep it in my garage? So I'm learning a whole bunch of stuff about Marketplace, eBay, and I'm actually going to look into the Whatnot app. I think it's like a live auction site.
If it's closed, you can do Poshmark.
Yep, I've heard that.
Joe,
I went down and tried a flea market. Huh?
You were born in 76.
Just breaking up, Steve. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I said, were you born in 76?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you put it at the end of your name.
Oh, geez, how'd you guess?
It's just like me using password for all my passwords. You know,
there's probably about 50 Joe on the go channels, and they're all like coffee delivery channels. So I had to throw a number on the end.
That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah. So is there others? I mean, so you've already connected with a couple people. Are you seeing that this space is pretty big, or there's still lots of people doing this?
Yeah. The
I imagine now would be the time. Things are expensive, dude.
Right.
You know. So like it's better.
It's almost at a point. Like my wife is excited because now she's looking at the auctions, being like, "Oh, what can we get for us?" Because you know what I mean. It's so cheap, and you're usually it's unfortunate you're buying someone else's valuables that they couldn't, pay for or whatever. But it's exciting too. It's like treasure hunting. So if it's fun, I'm doing it. When it's no longer fun, I guess I'm done.
So like
DoorDash.
So I was gonna say, so DoorDash is no longer fun. I mean, Joe used to. So Joe has a full-time job. He has a W-2 that he I know he's trying to pay off other things too, but he could easily live on, take care of his family. He was just trying to get ahead and have a little fun with DoorDash at the same time. Since the day I met him a couple years ago, it was
so fun at the time. I worked at like a second full-time job. I mean, I was putting in 30 hours a week after doing 10-hour days at my regular W-2 because I was enjoying it.
And I know you've always done the top dasher. So you used to do the crawl like Kim does at the end of a month. I know that's all gone now, but like, when did you know
when it was good?
I'm done? This is ridiculous.
After I put out the Billy video, I mean, I literally put out the Your Name is Billy video because I was feeling how silly the market was becoming. And I couldn't take it serious anymore after that. I tried making content. And I'd get home and start editing it, and I'm like, "This is all crap. This is all just crap."
So are you doing gig work at all anymore? Or are you just completely done?
I'm on delivered. I do delivered orders when they come through, large ones, but that's far and few between because most of them are in the daytime when I'm at work. So, but when I get,
I was gonna say, how do you even do delivered? Do you work during?
Well, I've had a couple on the weekend or in the evening.
Okay.
Yeah, the Ford company usually orders it for the second shift.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, like what you're doing sounds way more fun. As long as you don't lose a lot of money doing it.
I'm up.
I only caveat.
And I'm just kind of rolling it forward. So it's going to be fun. I'm hoping to do my second unit in July.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, guys, check out Joe's channel for sure, because I think that it's interesting what Brandon's doing. I thought it was interesting how easy it was to get into that. I mean, like I'm like Kim, I also wanted to explore it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna.
I will say it is a ton of work. Like, I mean, yeah,
But
you're
it's
finding
fun.
cool stuff, but I also found a pair of like dirty underwear in there with a big old bacon strip right down the tip. It's like, you
Ew.
got to clean that out.
I'm like, ew.
It's a lot of work.
You don't have to clean that out, dude. You just have to take a stick
Well,
and
you
move
throw
to
it
the
out, but you can't
trash.
throw it out at the facility. You got to take it home and be like, hey, babe, I'm throwing some other guy's dirty undies away. Here you go. It's just it's a
That's
lot
what
of work.
every woman wants to hear.
Those were
Yeah.
saved. Those were saved from the sky
They were-
guiding.
It wasn't your wife. Like those were in your car. Gross.
No, they were in a bag that was in a bag in another bag.
She's like, Billy.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was another
Get those out of
person.
my house,
involved.
Billy.
Dude, you could have been Billy on the go.
I could have, but that's not impossible. Who knows what the future brings?
You could be Billy the goat,
Billy the
greatest.
goat.
the greatest of all time.
Hey, Marion.
That's kind of funny, Tony.
So before we move on, I do have to say, I remember when Joe did that Billy video. When I actually should have known that's when you did it, because I remember you asking me, should I just do all my videos as Billy?
That was like December, right? Was that December?
Yeah,
No.
it was
Yeah,
the only
maybe.
way I could make it fun anymore. Like,
Right, but I
gotta
was like
find a way to
that.
make
Then
it
I could
fun or
tell
I'm
because I was
done.
like, you're just going 180 on your channel. You're gonna make a joke of
what do you mean, Steve?
it.
Because didn't he do the whole game show he did in December as Billy, and it was absolutely hilarious.
Oh yeah, he came in with the glasses, and he kept saying he didn't understand the basic rules of like easy stuff, and could I repeat it? And
What was that, Steve?
yeah, something like that, man. So I did a piece with Karen Anderson, you guys, and I actually I honestly think I think I said this to Tony, and I think I said it to Kim as well, but you guys know I've done some pieces with Karen before. She is she knows more than the legislators, senators, attorney general. She knows more than the people who drafted AB5 about AB5 and Prop 22. And I honestly think what we did this week was the best one we've ever done, for sure. Like, I think it was fact-based. The timeline was straight up. I even put a community post out and challenged anybody to find one fact in the entire thing that's wrong. And we have a lot of facts that we dropped through that whole thing. But it was the first time where even Kim Cavan was in the live chat watching. She wasn't joining us, but she was like, and then afterwards, she's like, you guys nailed it. Like, that was perfectly put together. So if you guys want to understand, and I know a lot of people in California sometimes email me or sometimes comment and say, I live in California, I understand it. And they'll even go as far as some people saying you don't. Well, I actually do pretty well. And I would challenge anybody who doesn't think I do or thinks even that you do. Even if you learn nothing from it, but it just puts the timeline in place, you'll see that those are the facts. That's the truth of it. And that's what we were just talking about with Massachusetts, or with Pennsylvania too, another state that's now going to be pushing that. But I do want to play one clip from it, because Karen is extremely smart. And I posed a question to her at the end that I've never posed to her before, about if the pandemic hadn't happened, because I have a lot of people make the comment, Prop 22 was only started because of the pandemic. 100% false. And I'll debate anybody on that, because we can do the timeline. It had nothing to do with the pandemic. AB5 went into effect January 1st of 2020. The CARES Act was enacted on March 28th of 2020, and that was the pandemic. In January, end of January, Uber, Lyft, and the Flex Association said that they wanted Prop 22, and there's a lot of court cases going on. So this whole thing, we dissected all of this. Prop 22 was an exemption to the law AB5. So the big problem is AB5 a lot. And the other comment I get often is, Prop 22, that's that thing that solved AB5. Again, incorrect. Incorrect. So I just want to play this because I think that it was an interesting question. I think the answer was pretty good, and this should get you guys to want to do that. And then we got a little brain teaser thing I want to do here with you guys. So check this out. So it's about 4:45. Is there any part of this that's still left going on with the Prop 22 stuff that would help AB5?
Oh yeah, I mean, if Prop 22 were overturned, which is likely not going to be, the state of California is advocating for to be upheld for one thing.
Yeah, I mean,
and the Supreme Court justices were very skeptical of that. So it's likely it will be upheld. But if it weren't upheld for whatever reason, it would be the floodgates would open, and you would find.
I mean, it wouldn't fix AB5, but it would put it back in front of your face again real fast.
Yeah, it would be back in the headlines for rideshare, and people would get it confused, and they would think, oh, AB5 is back. People think that AB5 is just about Uber and Lyft.
Yeah, no.
Most people don't realize that it's about all these every profession under the sun in California. But Prop 22, if it were to overturn, you would have a floodgate that would metastasize across the country for eliminating Uber and Lyft altogether.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you're saying the 90 days that they have at the Supreme Court is for, I mean, that's going to be August. We have an election in November. It would like rehatch all of the explosion in California again about AB5. So as much as I know it would suck for all the people I know doing rideshare, it almost would force some solving of this, because guys, all the problems get solved if AB5 gets destroyed.
Well, let me tell you, Governor Newsom, he's buddies with all the people that wrote Prop 22. And he never came out for or against Prop 22, which his silence was basically told us that he was for it. He wanted some kind of compromise or some kind of hybrid something or other, So for him, it would be his worst nightmare if he saw, rideshare and delivery just leave the state in droves, not be able to operate. And then all of these lawsuits, I mean, it would put the companies out of business in California.
Right.
But Prop 22 is it's validating, for example, a lot of people in my group back in 2020, they were conflicted about voting for Prop 22. They didn't think it was fair that rideshare and delivery could pay for a carve out via a ballot initiative. And what about us? And how come it doesn't apply to all of us? And we don't like Uber anyway, so we think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what is it that sold the voters? Because I remember my friends who lived in California even asking me, because they knew I was talking about, like, wait, which way do I vote on this? Because it seems like if I vote yes on Prop 22, I'm voting with these bad companies like Uber and this stuff. And they're like, and especially your state, I would think most people don't want to vote with Uber.
No, during the pandemic, you have to remember what the climate was, and the state made a really bad strategic calculation by doing this shock and awe litigation lawsuits thrown at them that were going to push them out of the state. And people were like, no, we don't want to lose our rideshare and delivery, especially during the pandemic. And also 80% of the drivers wanted to remain independent contractors. So the Yes on Prop 22 campaign never focused on AB5 as a whole. They never talked about other professions as to how AB5 affects other professions. They only were concerned about themselves. So they ran all of these TV ads and radio ads all day long with, very sunny, positive. We want to remain independent contractors. And in essence, that is what the voters voted for. They voted for them to remain independent contractors because the drivers themselves wanted to remain independent contractors.
So I have this, I do have this last question then that I got to ask, because I don't think I've ever asked you this before. So if there had never been a pandemic, but everything else played out the same, because all that was so close. The CARES Act was late March 2020, AB5 was January. But when AB5 hit and Prop 22 became a ballot initiative, would it have changed even by 1% the vote on Prop 22 if there was no pandemic?
No, it probably, because there would have been such a backlash against AB5 as a whole. I mean, you would have just seen the amount of ridiculousness that would have been exposed, in all of its, putrid glory. If there had not been a pandemic, it would have probably propelled Prop 22 to even get more votes.
Do you think it would have? Do you think it would have helped kill AB5 off?
Yes.
Do you think that
they wouldn't have been able to
again, guys? The timing had nothing to do with the pandemic. Even AB5. AB5 was in law months before.
Yeah, there would have been such a backlash that would be so obvious. But all of these professions that were really, I mean, sectors, entire sectors, like theaters, musicians, just a regular bar band not being able to play. The musicians, they got 750,000 signatures on a change.org petition.
So we went into a lot more than that. Look at Joe's shirt. We went into a lot more than that. And one thing that, if you didn't pick up on it, so would the pandemic, would Prop 22 still have existed without the pandemic? Yes. Would AB5, if everybody wasn't in lockdown and they could have got together publicly at buildings, even in California, could they have killed AB5? She said, absolutely. Well, if you kill AB5, everything under it, all the exemptions fall. Prop 22 wouldn't even exist. Now, with the decision that will come down in August, because the Supreme Court has 90 days since last week's Olson hearing, or since the Olson and the other hearing last week, they have 90 days. So in August, we will get a final answer. Here's how it works. If they keep Prop 22, gig workers can remain independent contractors. If they throw out Prop 22, no gig app can have independent contractors. Everybody has to be an employee or they have to leave the state. And that's how simple it is.
I'd rather buy storage units.
Well, I guess here's my point is that, so Karen's like, so of course, they're not going to throw it out. They're going to keep Prop 22. I said, I know, and I said, and please, California people, don't get mad at me, but we've always wanted a state to try and push Uber and Lyft like this to see what would actually happen. California, you already tried it, and they told you where to put it. They wouldn't pay it till they got their day in court and their vote and all this. But if Prop 22 was thrown out, there's 1.4 million gig workers in California. And then there's still almost 2 million who are like Karen, self-employed, have niche expertise that they developed at jobs throughout their career that they were able to start their own businesses for 20, 30, 40 years. And there's 2 million of those who got killed by AB5, and the power of those groups have shrunk. If you were to throw out Prop 22, you have 1.4 million people re-entering that argument in August, just before a November election. And I guarantee you things would flip upside down. And I'm not trying to go pro Uber or anything here, but I also don't like what all of this did to self-employed experts for decades who had owned their own businesses. I mean, it's impossible to be in your own business in California. It's just sad, because I didn't think that was the country we lived in. I mean, you can go live anywhere and be in a socialist country pretty much, but I thought that we had the freedom to be our own boss and do all that. That said, we're gonna get ready for this game show coming up next week, and I'm gonna brain tease all of you guys. So the chat, you're in on this next week. You guys will be really in on it, and you guys, the panelists, first one that gets them, take your time. These are like Kim was saying before we started. They're like listening skills, logic, quick thinking, things like that, and like how
I have no logic. I'm just kidding.
Yes, you do. So let me see if I have the two pre ones, because I've got 4 others, so and they won't take long. We'll just roll through them. But let's see. So, okay. So this came from a 21, obviously, but so 3 people check into a hotel room. The cost is $30. They each contribute $10, handing $30 to the hotel clerk. Later, the hotel clerk realizes that there was a mistake and the room only costs $25. The hotel clerk gives back gives the clerk $5 to the bellboy and asks him to return it to the guests. The bellboy decides to keep 2 for himself and give 1 back to each of the guests. Now each guest has paid $9, totaling $27, and the bellboy has kept $29. What happened to the missing dollar?
What?
You lost me.
Well, it's up on the screen. So there's 3 people. The hotel's going to cost $30. They all give 10. The guy figures out, wait, it was only supposed to charge him 25. He gives the bellboy 5 back to go take to them. The bellboy keeps 2 for himself, so he's stealing, but we're not going to get into that, the ethical part of that. And then, so that leaves him $3. He gives each $1 back to each of the guests. So that would mean each guest put in $9. And the bellboy kept 2. So that would be 29. What happened to the missing dollar?
My answer would be, what the hell kind of question is that?
No. So
well, technically they didn't pay $9. They paid $9 plus $2 divided by 3. Right? So the 33 cents would be in the extra that they paid, which actually transitioned into what the bellboy took for himself.
Right. So it's
all there. You just got to divide the $2 that was stolen by 3.
Right. The guests have paid a total of 27. So 25 to the hotel and 2 to the bellboy, and they each got $1 back is how you can look at it.
No, they paid 27 to the whole. Stop it, Steve. This hurts. I get it. I understand it. I just can't explain it.
Don't worry, the game show won't be like this. So, you are in a room with 2 doors. One door leads to certain death, and the other door leads to freedom. There are 2 guards, one in front of each door. One guard always tells the truth, and the other always lies. You don't know which guard is which, and you don't know which door leads to freedom. You can ask one guard one yes or no question. What do you ask to find the door to freedom?
Are you freedom?
Are you a man?
Yeah, because if you're a woman, they don't know.
Well, you don't know what they identify as either.
Hey there.
Yeah, they might play with the pronouns. We don't know. But the answer technically is ask either guard. If I were to ask the other guard which door leads to freedom, what would he say? Because then you'd get the answer regardless. Follow?
What if they were both liars?
It says one isn't.
Well, it's a lot of people say a lot of things, Steve. Are you listening, Billy?
Billy, we got to go by what these are, man.
Oh, now we want to play by the rules.
Okay, well, so here's a couple of these are interview ones, by the way. These are ones that they pull at actual interviews. So
I would be like, dude, don't hire me.
Well, no, those weren't. These are. Michelle's mom has 4 children. The first child is named April. The second is May. The third is June. What is the name of the 4th child?
Michelle.
You got it. See, that was easier, right? I got you going with the pre ones, and
right.
But a lot of people, I mean, the most common answer is July. People they don't pay attention. They miss this stuff. Why do they make well, wait a minute. Let me see okay. So you are outside of a windowless room. The room has 3 light bulbs and 3 switches outside the room. Each switch controls one of the light bulbs. You may only enter the room once. How can you find out which switch goes to each light bulb? 3 switches, 3 light bulbs, one tied to one.
Windowless room? Is that what you said? Windowless?
Yep. 3 doors with a switch outside of each door. You can only enter one door one time, and you can do what you want in the room. But how would you know? How could you just entering one time, find out which is which.
Couldn't you turn all the switches on before you enter and look before you go in? Like turn a switch,
No,
look in the
it's
door?
it's windowless. You can't look.
There's a door. You got to enter it somehow, right? So before you enter,
But you can only
look
go
in
in
the door.
once.
Well, you don't go
But
in, you look
just
in.
leave the door open.
Okay.
Or you
well,
build a strong team around you and have them turn them on as you're in the room.
the actual answer that this company is looking for is turn on the first switch, wait 5 minutes. After 5 minutes have passed, turn that switch off, turn the second one on, go into the room and feel the other two bulbs for which one's warm.
Yeah, or you can just look in the door while you're
What if
flicking the
they're
switch.
LEDs though? They don't even get warm.
It didn't say they're LEDs.
Well, if they're environmentally friendly, they're switched
So if
to
I'm
LED.
in a job interview and I say, "Can I Google the right answer?" Do you think that they would hire me?
No.
You're not going to Google. You use Chat GPT.
So it'll just come back with another question though. So this is the last. This is the last one, you guys. Hopefully everybody gets this. Okay, everybody, chat 2. Go. A drawer contains 20 white socks, 42 black socks. With your eyes closed, how many socks would you need to take from the drawer to have a matching pair?
What were the numbers again, Steve?
20 white socks, 42 black socks. That's Billy thinking.
22 socks, Steve.
12.
12?
22
Okay,
socks.
else? Tony, what do you got?
I don't know. I was talking to Daniel.
You just pick a number then. Just throw a dart.
7.
Kim, what do you got?
I have no idea. 42.
Derek got it.
Oh, right. Of course.
Oh.
If you were to dump 20 white socks and 42 black socks into a basket and just mix them up and pull out 3 socks, you would have a pair.
Got it.
So
For sure you would. Yeah.
Or 20.
Yeah.
you guys, I'm just playing with your minds. That's all.
Just like your thumbnail.
All right,
This is just a
Xavier.
warm up.
If you like
Professor X.
these questions, let me strongly suggest you watch the show, The 1% Club. It's only had 3 episodes so far. It's this on steroids.
Where is it?
Nice.
I don't know what channel it's on. I've been watching it on Prime Video. The 3rd episode.
So it's on Amazon. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what is it called?
The 1% Club.
The 1% Club.
So
Okay.
what they do is they ask everybody. They ask 100 people in America a series of questions, and so they start off with the one that 90% of the people got. And there's 100 people in this audience or in this game show. Some of them will get eliminated, and sometimes you'll be surprised that 18 people get eliminated by one question that really wasn't all that hard. And then a really hard question that say only 10% of Americans got right, nobody gets eliminated. So it's interesting. It's a fun show, and it's gosh, I can't think of the guy who hosts it right now, but he's pretty funny.
I got one for you. An electric train was on the track facing east. Which way does the smoke blow?
None, because it's electric. So I did want to share this last thing with you guys. This is a very weird. I had another one too from New York that was saying that Lyft is now canceling in New York. They're canceling upfront fares because of something Uber did to them. So they said that very likely you won't be able to get on anymore. I don't know what Uber's doing. But then another tweet, this was a tweet from somebody I know on Twitter that is referring to Lyft as well. They said, this is what Lyft drivers get from Lyft for canceling when a rider has a small child but no car seat required by law. And I'll put that up there.
Yeah.
So if you're now at risk of suspension, if you go to pick up a child or a parent, and as Tony and me and Tom and I don't think either of you guys have ever done rideshare, but those people never let you know there's a kid.
Right.
You get there and then there's a kid. That's never known. And
yeah, I just stare at them while I let the timer count down.
and see, I was thinking, that's kind of what I replied to this person, because I was like, look, I mean, you don't want to go through what she did is she went through the way of saying, when you go through it correctly, it puts you at risk right away. So it's better to not do it correctly, because if you do it correctly, you're at risk of suspension.
That's messed up.
Well, Lisa got deactivated for doing that on Uber when we were on coffee in Colorado.
I forgot about Lisa. I forgot Lisa's like a bad boy and got deactivated.
Yeah. And Welty made a song about it saying, no minors unless you're a coal miner.
But yeah, what about my thumbnail?
It's wrong.
Your thumbnail made Daniel think that the Drivens were moving to Michigan.
How on earth? Because I put new Detroit gig.
Yeah, probably.
Or was it because Kim asked me about the mystery question?
I'm like, who's the mystery guest?
I was like, oh shit, I actually didn't mean for that to be there. So
well, that's not my thumbnail looks different.
Maybe your name is Billy. He's here.
Mine says Storage Wars instead of question mark.
Well,
yeah, that's what mine said.
Awesome for you. That is not my experience with DoorDash or with Instacart, but cheers. Don't tell anybody in this chat what market you're in, or tomorrow you will have 10,000 people there doing Instacart and you will not make even $3. So just tip. Be quiet where you live. So, you guys, next week is going to be a big deal. It's 125 episodes. And again, we know we did a couple compilations on some holidays, but that's a lot. Like, Kim's been here the whole time. I've been here the whole time. And Gary was here for most of it. Hannibal was here for a good amount. John Dash was here for a good amount. And all these wonderful people have always stepped in whenever we need them. And you guys are always here. And I think that it's grown into something fun. I really enjoyed Kim's live this week because she was all about like, let's just make this fun. And I did 3 political pieces this week. So I was like all stoked about tonight just being like, let's just talk, because everything else I was like having to like research, and I had all these notes and timelines and sometimes it's just nice to get in here. So it's definitely going to be extremely interactive with the chat. Some prizes. We'll figure out some things. I'm going to make this as I don't even remember what I called it, Tony, but it's going to be like the supermarket prices sweep life.
I can't see what that
whammy.
It's a Zifty for 204 on Sunday.
Nice.
All right.
7 miles.
Before we sign off on that, is Zifty transparent about what you're taking? Obviously, because they don't want to have a car show up that can't fit it. And with Tony in a Pinto now, I mean a Prius.
Oh crap!
Hey,
Tony and I are doing a challenge to see whose car will go longer. He bought a Pinto. I bought a Yugo. We'll see which one runs longer.
I was in the market for the Flintstones car.
That'd be sweet. You can get a bike too.
Bam Bam's car.
Yeah. By the way, I think we talked about it, but real quick, guys. By the way, they banned the DoorDash platform banned walking deliveries in New York. which is kind of crazy because it's actually needed because you can't park so many different places. It's going to make a huge mess, but they just couldn't do it with the minimum
they
wage
banned what?
BS.
Wait,
The
what did they
walking
ban?
people.
Walking deliveries.
Oh.
You can't be on there and walk anymore in New York.
Wow.
And of all the cities in the country, that's the like if I had to pick one city that should have the walking feature, it's New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the only city that said we're not going to do it.
Are they trying to encourage everybody to do e-bike then? And
I think
scooter?
they're encouraging people not to use the damn platform. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, what if you run?
That.
I mean, I think it's going to be down to the scooter people, but this is a new move. What are they going to do come winter? In the winter they rely on those walkers. So I don't know what they're going to do. But that's all we got, you guys, for this week. Check out Kim's audio podcast. I told Kim sometimes I miss her live on Tuesday if I'm out working or I'm doing other things, but I always listen to the audio podcast and I'm not just plugging it. They do sound better, you guys. Like mine sounds better. Kim sounds better. Not that they sound bad, but StreamYard can only do so much. The audio podcast sounds so much better. So you check out the Gig Economy podcast, check out Rideshare Rodeo, check out Kim's Side Money Plans, and check out Be My Own Boss podcast. Mike Karubi and I have started that. So all on audio podcast. I guess that's a wrap for the week. Thank you, panelists.
Steve, so 3 weeks from now, can we talk about the Amazon Flex lawsuit?
Yeah, can we talk about it now?
No, it takes longer than the time
It's a
we
wrap.
Yeah, we'll catch it in 3 weeks.
Okay. Or like while I'm getting set up next week. I mean, how long of a story is it? We could do it as the intro while everybody's getting in here.
We'll talk offline.
Okay. Well, guys, that's thank you, panelists. Thank you, everybody, for watching live or on the replay. Thank you, everybody, for watching on all the different channels. Thank you for watching 124 episodes of this. I mean, wow. We've been doing this for a while. I mean, that's, Mr. Flex, for example. I'm going to give a shout out to Mr. Flex here because he does the lounge every night, 7 nights a week. And he started around the same time as we did. And he's around 700 episodes now. So makes sense,
Wow.
but it just seems like a lot. Once a week, we get together and we've done 124.
Pretty cool.
That's a lot.
Danny, you're getting Tony in trouble, and we're gonna remember every part of it. Just kidding.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Steve.
If I don't,
I was gonna say thank you, Joe.
Round table, it's Daniel's fault.
Thank you, Joe, on the go. You guys check out Joe's channel. We all can stalk him there and troll him and do all those things that
I find
everybody
cool
hates.
stuff like this. I don't even know what that is.
that looks
It's
like it goes on a cane.
Here
No,
at home,
dude,
we call it the evil
a
antelope.
tie hook.
We call it the evil antelope.
It's a hood ornament.
Right? I make it big. I'm going to put this right on the hood.
It
That's the
looks
first
like
item
you
I
might
ever
need an
picked out of my first
exorcist
unit.
at your house.
So as Kim always says, I wanted to plug this too. Kindness is always free. Great statement. As Kim got me the shirt because I was saying it, don't be one of these. Oh, and then I like what Kim
Literally told that to Max when he graduated.
and well, he's got that tipping problem. But I liked last week I threw at Kim, and I think she even threw it out there. It was kindness always wins. So that might be like the round table way of like converging it all. Because her kindness is always free. Yeah, I like the kindness always wins because I think every day in this community, we see kindness not win. Anytime somebody goes that route, it just never seems to pay off. So the best thing to do is to be nice to everybody. We're all going through our own struggles, and you never know what anybody's going through on any given day. With that said, everybody, have a great week. Be good to each other, and do not be a dick.